with it, but Zeus is, I'd say, more consistent and has been when Aatrox was super broke. Remember lethality Aatrox and all that?
Yep.
Zeus was a big abuse. Surprised he played so aggressively.
Nice charm going to connect. Foxfire as well.
He has
landing onto Chovy.
He has been one of our better Ahri players, even though I feel like
he was the one that debuted Ahri after her rework.
He and Faker were kind of leading the charge at that one, and you know, it's not a pick that we associate with him as much as some of his other melee picks, but he is very good at it, and he's showing why.
Oh god, Chovy, remember, doesn't have flash, but instead they just turn immediately onto Canyon. I don't know whether you needed to do that, Peanut, but he is able to get out of the last turret shot. Oh, I feel like, you know, the gods are on his side after that one.
Well, this is certainly stack blade, so if I hit my sweet spots, I can trade really well with my passive. Chovy's in trouble. Still no flash, by the way.
Yeah, exactly. Has to Kingslayer his way over. Delight's going to turn up. That means that he's definitely dead. And that is 0, 1, and 0 for Chovy. And of course, it was Canyon that died the first time around.
Canyon can't help him out in the mid lane, or he's just going to lose his whole jungle.
Yeah.
I mean, he lost all of the He's just trying to farm, doesn't have Canyon to help him out. Now he's getting electrocuted repeatedly here in a melee versus ranged matchup where Zeka has an advantage.
Well, Grubs are going to spawn. Peanut in position. Delight now going to move over. The most terrifying little Yordle with a hammer. And Viper only level 6, so doesn't quite have the ultimate available, but there is the pick-off. And Duro, he is burning, and Viper is going to be able to pick up the kill. That is feats of strength. And so much value here as now Rule underneath his top outer turret. And I had some doubts about this draft, but so far it's working so well. Unless Chovy can do something about it, both of them trading some hijacked Spirit Rushes and some real ones.
I mean, the lane swap just didn't really go well for Gen G, and some of the prio they have, they're utilizing it so incredibly well for this Nidalee. We talked about it, how useful it is to have lane prio, but when you're crushing lanes this hard, you get objective control as well. And man, Viper was so close to hitting.
And he's still probably going to die as Canyon's going to turn up. Umbral dash over the wall though. As he's out of mark range, this is insane. Gets the knock up onto Keen, and I don't think he's got another charge. As meanwhile, on the other side of the rift, Ruler is getting torn to shreds here by Peanut, but he's able to slink off, gets into stealth. Duro maybe not so lucky, as Viper presses the ultimate button, and there is the kill. So 1 for 1 in the extended trade, and I have to say, nicely played, Zeus, even if you did still die.
Yeah, no, he didn't have a blast cone or anything to get away from there. I thought perhaps like with the way the observer was panning that there was something that happened, but no, everyone else was topside. He was left to die, but they find success, and they're looking for a redive here on the Ruler.
Yep, Delight is just going to push Ruler away, and Ruler is too greedy, and he's just going to die.
Greed has kind of been the name of the game for Ruler, but I mean, you can call it greed in this situation, but he's sitting 20 CS down. He's like, well, I've got to farm. Yeah, maybe I get out of here, but like 1 feat of strength or one part of that feat of strength for them. But plate gold everywhere else. I mean, this gold lead is expanding. Zeus, no flash. 4 people.
There's the World Ender. He's just looking to clear out these minions if he can, but he will just be exploded. There goes that kill. Viper with some free time there towards the top side in exchange. Teleport over from Chovy into this mid lane. As Gen G actually trading up pretty nicely here towards this bottom side. Unless, yeah, okay, with these grubs going down, maybe it's not so much.
I don't know if it's actually a trade up, because this turret's more healthy, and they have TP, so they can't even try to get more plates here. And Chovy had to commit his teleport mid after they lost plates there.
I thought they'd be able to get so much more damage
to the team fight and hope there's an overextension, but with the mobile champions we have, we're talking about Nidalee, Ahri, Zeri, and to a lesser extent, Aatrox is decently mobile himself.
Well, here's a heroic charge as Viper's making his way in. Duro looking to try and stop him, but Ruler is dead. That was mostly praying, not a whole lot of spraying. I mean, as HLE now look to grab themselves a Herald as a little bit of a reward.
You know, we got silver scrapes, but I feel like we're just silver scraping what's left of Gen G in this 5th game out of the barrel.
No.
This is just a complete dismantling. And we liked, you know, some of the
I was
of Gen
worried about this draft as well, as Viper is in melee range against a Viego, and he just pieces out. Delight can go for the 1v1 if you'd like to. The double teleports as Canyon going to get flashed on. And that is that darkened, the cool button that Zeus has access to on his passive, and Chovy and Keen turn up a little bit too late to stop anything from happening.
the dodges in this game, but Unreal Keen's going for it.
And look at that, Delight sacrificing himself. Chovy did steal away Viper's ultimate, and that is going to be able to take that kill as the steadfast presence is so good from Delight. Still, the chains come down, and Chovy tanking too many turrets here in order to stay alive as Zeka comes in and says no more funny business. But Gen G have been able to find some value unless this charm is going to spell the end of everything. Because remember, this means resets, and Zeka is dashing after Ruler now. The Orbit Deception doesn't get that true damage, as Ruler does have the ultimate back up and available once again. Expunge not quite going to be there, although I think it's called Contaminate now. Expunge was a long time ago. Well, I prefer it. Like, I just feel like the word's fun.
Yeah, no, it's nice. It's okay, you can still say the old words. Everyone knows what you mean.
Oh, thanks, man.
Viper here wants to set up a sandwich, right? Because he's Zeri, he's got the wall to ride on. He sets up the buffered extendo beam as well to get the slow. This is just clean Zeri play. And when you're sitting on 2 items way faster than you're supposed to be, you can make cool stuff like this happen. You know, a little bit overzealous in some of the upcoming plays, but you can just see he's like, oh, I'm super fed. I can make this stuff happen. Eats a bunch of damage here, but teleport comes through, and Chovy is ready. He's like, we're not going down without a fight. This is said fight. Yes, Canyon does die. McKeen commits his ultimate here. Even though Chovy doesn't get the chains, he steals the Zeus ult. Or Zeri ult, excuse me. And
Heroic Charge was actually a really cute idea from Delight.
Yeah. It's almost enough, but they still get Chovy, unfortunately, and Zeka just continues to chase them down.
All right, Zeka could be in trouble. Chain's going to connect there as Dura gets the stun. Charm goes wide, and that is 730 gold or something like that going over to Chovy as Zeus is teleported in. Duro is dead, ladies and gentlemen, and Chovy, I think, is going to follow suit. There he goes. Okay, so the answering 2 kills probably worth the death of Zeka right there. Although it was his first, so we got the shutdown.
Chovy, a little grin on his face there after that one. This showcases what Gen G's comp can do. It's not necessarily the greatest 5v5 comp against a fed Zeri, but if you can isolate and pick off targets with your CC, it works really well. If you're at a leading game state, the Zeri isn't fully online yet, you can actually 5v5 pretty well with the simplicity of the composition, but they keep finding picks but paying for it. And when you're this far behind, a trade of kills might feel nice because you're like, wow, we're behind on gold, we shouldn't be able to get that, but now you're losing the map.
Cool. Keen going a little bit aggressive here as Zeus does get stunned off, and Zeus just pops him. That is going to be the kill going over to Light somehow, and Dura realizing that there is no avenue in whatsoever. Canyon down to 50%, Ruler trying to do damage where he can, and look at this brick wall of an Aatrox. Delight goes in, double knock up is gigantic. Duro in that backline, zoning out Viper quite nicely as the rest of Gen G have grouped back up. But Zeus is still alive, he's healing over and over again. The team fighting Peanut Nidalee is actually working, and finally, Zeka shows up to clean up the battle.
And again, it's a trade, but eventually Hanwha Life trade up better. I mean, these are some of the best fights you could hope for as Gen G. You know, Duro getting into the back line, getting on top of Viper, isolating him, preventing a lot of his damage from coming through. It's plays like that and plays like this where you could see how this composition works. Duro's like, all right, I stun, you stun, we kill, dead Ahri. Very simple, but then you're on the wrong side of the map because you had to go super deep for this. But if it was a closer game, this could have really worked out for Gen G. They are not giving up. They are not going down without a fight. They're not going quietly into that good night, but it feels like they are still going. Atlas as Keen again tries to set up this ultimate here, and then Hanwha Life feels safe. They go back in, but Duro on the flank is massive. Speaking of flanks.
Oh, that's a heroic charge. Into a charm, and Duro's dead. Not a whole lot that he can do about that one, as he does buy a fair bit of time as the teleport is coming in from Keen. But just a little bit too little and definitely too late, as we do have Artican up and available. And the crazy thing is despite the fact that things have felt very back and forth, it hasn't been. There are bounties available. HLE has a huge gold advantage, and Artican is just being taken. There's a teleport from Chovy into the top lane. They know that there is no way that they can fight this. And HLE are also just taking a dragon at the same time. It's as if they're the only ones on the map right now, as they will be able to take this one down. Topside is maybe where they'll be able to find some semblance of an answering kill or something objective. But I just don't know about that. Zeus going to be able to clear things out. Zeus also has been... Oh, okay, never mind. He's just going to face check 2 people. Zeka going to move over, and there's the explosion. And down goes Canyon. No resets for you. Chovy as well, finding himself point blank into this Aatrox, who will just take a little bit of a avenue out of there. Viper explodes, that's gonna kill the rat, and now he's just looking to press that burst fire button over and over again. He's got carpal tunnel, but he's also got a triple kill, and maybe make that a quadra. Never mind, it's gonna be taken there by Peanut. That's gonna be an ace, and remember, they had Otacon.
They had Otacon, so they don't care about the withdraws. They don't care about the takedowns here. And Gen.G just trying to group to isolate targets. Who can we find on rotation? Who can we find who's coming in here? We're trying to set up some side laning. Maybe we can pull Hanwha Life apart. And they have the numbers advantage, but because they're so far behind on gold, so much time can be bought here with the withdraws. Viper comes in and cleans up house. I mean, you can see Duro's trying his best to try and get on top of this guy, but he gets knocked up by the Poppy. Chovy goes in.
Oh, Chovy actually finding that withdraw angle, pretty impressive.
It was impressive, but like many things that have been impressive for Gen.G, despite an 8,000 gold lead until now, it's 10,000. They don't necessarily matter because it's 2 steps forward and then perhaps 5 steps back in some of these fights because Han would clean up and get more map control each and every time. Chovy,
15 stacks, by the way, on the Forbidden.
Yeah. And Chovy, he's now like, he's got his arm guard. He did get 2 items. You know, we went from ketchup to like,
oh God!
It's big. The damage.
Yeah, that is a lot of damage. He finds that first Q onto Canyon there as well. Takes a blast cone, but Canyon is going to be able to make his way out, but not without needing to go see a doctor about some heart condition.
Yeah, for real. 30 more seconds on the remainder of these Otacon buffs. They're trying to make some use of it.
All right, Grand Starfall as Duro is in the mid lane.
Yeah.
And Zeka is also in the mid lane. Keen is going to be the first one to be targeted as Delight pushes Chovy away. Duro is also going to explode the double kill for the Ahri as the spray and pray was trying to work, but unfortunately, the Twitch just does not do enough. And look at Zeka having a field day. It's a quadra. Oh God, is he going to get another game 5 pentakill? Canyon is going to say absolutely not. That would be ridiculous. 2 best-of-5s in a row. Yeah. No, no, no.
Canyon is the pentakill denier, as we've learned.
Yes, be it his own team or the enemy.
Well, this last game was a bit of a wash, Atlas.
It certainly was, but it was some impressive plays. There's a heroic charge. Zeka, unofficial denial of the pentakill by Delight. You'll love to see it. Nexus turrets. Number 1 going to go down. Number 2 still standing. HLE, I think, respecting some of these respawn time as Duro, Ruler, and Keen are all up and available. And so I think maybe it is a on-spawn Baron take before we win the game.
Yeah, I feel
12,000 gold in the lead.
If you're a Gen.G fan in this one, you've definitely enjoyed some of the highs, but the lows have felt pretty hard. And Ruler may just simply go down.
Oh dear. Well, Zeka is very charmed. HLE are way too far ahead. Zayas can face check basically anything he wants as the slicing maelstrom does nothing. It's the tickling electric static circle. It's not really doing anything of much at all. And HLE, I think, don't need a Baron. They just need to kill this last remaining Nexus turret to bring them to a date with D+ Kia in our winners final here for the LCK Cup. Ruler spraying, praying, but he's gonna have to utilize a lot of those prayers against Nongshim to keep Gen.G alive here in this tournament.
It was a slow start for Hanwha Life Esports here in 2025, but man, have they ramped up.